eat my shorts.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I'm of course your host, Dave Lee, and this is episode number 39! 39
No,
shows.
I've got nothing to say about 39.
No, technically, like if you count, remember the pilot episode we did? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Pilot? That would be make this episode 40.
No, you can't count it.
But we're not going to count that because next week we're going to have a big celebration for 40 shows. I can't wait. It'll probably just be a standard show, but we'll
Of course it will be.
but we'll celebrate in less than style. Anyway, of course, the podcast goes out every single Monday on all the major podcasting platforms. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Audible. It'll also be available on the small platforms as well as the major ones too. If you prefer the small guys and you don't like giving it to the man and giving all your money to the big fat cats of the
Screw
podcast
the man!
world, yeah, the small ones, but it's also on the big ones, which I'm sure
Exactly
most
right.
people will be listening on. We love the big ones because without them, we wouldn't be here.
You got nothing.
No, we'll bow down to the fat cats of the podcast world. Of course, there's a visual element that goes out on YouTube on the same day, on the Monday. But if you want early access to that, you can sign up to the Patreon. You'll get it 2 days earlier on the Saturday. So head over to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month.
Cheapy.
Very cheap.
Cheap.
It's fucking worse every week. Losing the plot.
As you get older, you do.
Yeah, we've migrated the video podcast to a second channel, of course. So we'd really appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, we do like the likes, but in particular the subscriptions and the views. Subscribe. So do that. Subscriptions, views, get our monetization back and all that shit. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you're watching it, you're already there. So just fucking hit that button, you fucking jerk. I'm joking. Please come. Stay around. I love you. Thank you.
And if you only get on and listen to one segment, we're not going to tell you, don't leave the thing running.
Don't leave it running.
Not allowed to
Don't
do
leave
that.
it running. I can't tell you to do that. It's against the YouTube rules.
But we really get our time up.
Yeah, we've got to get that time up. So do what you can. Just do what you can.
Watch the whole episode.
Yeah, watch it all. Watch it all. Listen to it all. You can, of course, find me at Dave Lee Down Under on Twitter, on Instagram, on Letterboxd. Links for all that down at the bottom below, but if you're against clicking links, just in case of spam, I promise they're not spam links, but if you have anything against clicking on links, you can just head to the website, type it in, and there I am. Old-fashioned way of doing things. If you want to write in the show, you can shoot an email to Dave.
Scary thought.
I know. If you want to write in the show, you can send an email to daveleepod@gmail.com. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review and a rating. It helps.
Only the good ones, though. Bad ones don't help.
No, they don't. They really don't help.
Good ones do.
Good ones do.
Bad ones
Majority of ours are good reviews. We must have had one bad one because we're on 4.9
yeah, but
out of
ever
5
going to be
stars.
5 out of 5.
I know, it sucks.
Bastards.
I know. Whoever did that.
They say you can please all the people some of the time, you can't please... No. You can please everybody. I don't know what I'm trying to freaking say.
You can please some of the people
all of the time and all of the people some of the time.
There you go.
Never
So-
all the people all the time.
So obviously we haven't pleased
And
all
you
the
can
people.
you piss everybody off all the time as
Yeah,
well.
I know. Someone will always
my
find
life.
something. Hey, we're back for another show.
Mm.
We're okay. We're out of lockdown in Melbourne.
Ooh, thank God.
The rest of the
The rest
country
of the country's not though.
is in a fucking shambles.
Yeah, they've been hit hard up
Fucking
north.
hell, yeah.
Sydney and particularly Sydney.
Yeah.
Brisbane's been hit, but not so bad. Their restrictions eased today, and they've been tonight I think, and then they
Was it Sydney?
Oh yeah, certain regions in Sydney.
Oh, right.
Have all been
Queensland.
Queensland.
Yeah.
In Queensland, certain regions have been opened up, or will open up, and then I think central Brisbane, I think, is another day, something like that.
Anyway, by the time this goes out to everyone, it's outdated anyway.
But they're all amateurs because we've done it for
4 times.
Yeah.
Fucking
Total of
hell.
probably 12 months in lockdown.
Well,
We spent the last 18
I
months.
keep getting emails from from people, from contacts and stuff, and they're like, I hope you're keeping well in lockdown. And I have to be like, well, I'm actually not in, I'm in Melbourne. I'm not in lockdown. Sorry guys.
Yeah,
I hope you're
exactly.
okay. Oh, no, we feel your pain. We know what it's like.
We know exactly
We've
what
been
it's
there.
like.
It sucks. We can laugh about it now because it just keeps going on. It's not funny. It's not a funny situation, but it's just like at some point you have to be like, fucking here we go again.
Well, nowhere else in the country's been locked down like Melbourne has.
I know. It's crazy.
Because the longest stint was about 3 months or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
something nuts. Anyway, not a competition. We feel for you guys out there. We
Certainly do. We know what it's like.
We know even a couple of weeks can be hell.
Oh, exactly.
Like that first 2 weeks we got locked down when we were in contact with someone who had the virus.
Yeah, that's right.
And like, do not leave the house. We weren't allowed to
Yeah.
go get the tests even at that point, remember? Because
Well, they didn't tell us. We asked them if we had to. They said, no, just keep your eyes open
no,
for any
it was
signs.
because it was at the very beginning. They didn't know if they'd
Yeah,
have enough.
that's right.
If they didn't know if they'd have enough tests
Yeah.
at that point. So if you'd come in contact, you just fucking hard isolation,
Yeah.
no tests, any of that shit. So we know what it's like. We wish you all the best out there. Hopefully we'll get out. You'll all get out of it very soon. We'll get through this. We'll get there.
Just watch shit.
Just
Just
watch
get
it.
on and watch stuff.
What's funny, the 2 or 3 emails that I received with that people were like, oh, I hope you're all right. It was always followed with, at least there's plenty to watch at the moment.
Yeah, good.
And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't need that. I don't even need
Make
that
the
excuse.
best of a bad situation, I think.
Exactly right.
Can't do anything else but.
Meanwhile, in Melbourne, we were back at the movies the other day.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And it's pretty full too, wasn't it?
Fucking packed. 2 cinemas full, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they had, They had 2 seats together, then an empty seat, then another
Yeah.
2, then an empty seat. So they
Yeah.
were distancing a little bit, I suppose, which was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we went to Black Widow. We'll talk about it later. We'll
Yep.
talk about our thoughts and stuff. But yeah, massive world premiere event. It was all fucking world something
Oh, I
premiere,
don't know what it
fan
was.
event, something.
Fan, something
So
like
they had
that.
all the fans along. They had some media along and stuff, and it was just
Some
2
nice
screens. What's that? Oh, the media.
It's just-
Yeah, I know. I know. I thought you were saying the fans. I was like, no, sorry, guys. No, you're not flogged. Yeah, some of the other media out there. Crazy, man. But it was fun to get back in the cinema.
It was
They,
good, it was
they
good.
threw a fucking big event, Disney.
It was huge.
Man, it's the biggest thing I've seen them do for a long time.
And they invited heaps of cosplayers along.
Yeah,
and
which
no,
was
some
awesome.
of those costumes are incredible,
so
aren't they?
good, yeah. You had Iron Man, full on Iron Man.
Iron Man, he was awesome.
Yeah, you had the lights and
Captain
everything.
America, and he was in battle damage
Yeah.
outfit and
So-
and limping too. I didn't know whether he had a real,
Yeah, I don't know.
real limp or whether
But he
that
was sitting there in Nando's
Nando's.
because it was at the Jam Factory. So there's a Nando's there. It's not literal for international listeners.
It's not a
national.
jam factory.
It probably was at one point.
It was,
and
originally,
now it's
I
just
think.
like it's just a complex with the cinema and
Yeah.
some food outlets. Anyway, there's a Nando there, and Captain America was sitting there eating like a wrap, and it was just like directly out of the first Avengers where they're sitting down eating the shawarma. I was like, it's so funny. I was like, I have to go and say it to him, and I was like, no way. You pretend and go fuck off. Anyway, so yeah, you had like Captain Marvel was there. You even had people fucking on the ball. Some of these cosplayers, they're so quick. You had Lady Loki there.
Yeah.
Sylvie from
And
Loki.
And Loki.
And Loki was there as
And
well.
Loki variant.
Yes, Loki variant too. Yeah, so these people are so quick,
Yeah,
man.
they're on it.
Well, I know some people who do cosplaying, and then like every time like something like that comes up, a new character,
Are
something.
the South Australians?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
got a couple of friends from South Australia, Alison and Dave, and they do cosplaying. And as soon as like a new character comes up, particularly Alison, because she makes all her costumes and
She
stuff.
has great costumes too.
Yeah,
She does
incredible
great,
work.
That's a great job.
And she's like, I'm starting work on that one already.
Oh, God.
So some of
Good
these
on 'em.
people are so switched on, yeah. So yeah, it was awesome to be there, and I haven't seen Disney throw a beat. Well, obviously, I haven't been able to for the last like 18 months.
Yeah.
But they just went all out, and they had cocktails there, and like lasers shining everywhere. It was fucking,
Yeah.
it was really good.
Yeah.
So it was so fun to get there.
It was cool. It was really good. It was a really good event.
Yeah,
They did a good job of it.
yeah,
It's one of the best ones we've
yeah,
had.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't go all out that often.
No.
So I think they were just like, let's fuck it. I think they were supposed to do something like that for Cruella.
They probably had a budget for about three or
Yeah,
four.
well,
of them.
true, yeah,
They
yeah.
thought, fuck it, let's
Yeah,
spend it
just
all
go
on
out,
this one.
yeah. They were supposed to have like a massive one for Cruella. They had like 500 people invited, and then at the last minute it had to be cancelled because of that lockdown.
Yeah.
crazy. Would have been awesome.
God.
But yeah, so that was good. We'll talk about the movie soon. Otherwise, this week I did a junket. I'm actually not sure if I'm allowed to say what it is. I've seen it. I've asked them because I know I've got a pretty strict embargo on the review.
And
I'm not going to say it.
There's usually strict embargoes on any of the junkets too.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's weird.
them.
So anyway, I've done a junket for one of the new Disney Plus things that's coming up. I got to interview fucking like the whole cast, like 9 people I think I got to speak with. And we obviously watched we watched the thing. I'm not going to say it because just in case. I have asked them if I'm allowed to disclose it, but haven't heard back yet. So, but yeah, I did that junket. That was a 2 a.m. one.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was fun.
For you.
Yeah. They were all okay. I don't mind doing them. Like 2 a.m. It went for about an hour and a half maybe. But it was very cool. I enjoyed it. I don't care if I got to stay up late because I love the opportunities. Yeah. You guys know that. And bring you good content. So I think I'm embargoed on that for maybe 2 weeks. And then I can release the interviews. I can release my review for it. I will cover it on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, all that stuff. So that was fun. But as you guys know, if I'm up late one night, I'm fucked for the rest of the week.
That's been the case.
Slept in today, slept in yesterday. Been getting a little bit of
thing. I had good sleeping yesterday too.
Yeah, well, you've been up late too.
I think I was up till about 3 a.m. or something the night before and slept in about 10:30 or something like that, 11 o'clock maybe.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Now, I was up till 3 a.m. the night after. Oh, yeah. Because the night after I did the junket, I had to do that. I did some video. Some news thing popped up. I was like, fuck, I'm going to do a video. So I was up till 3.
Yep.
Anyway, you were watching the tennis. That's why you were up late, I think.
I was watching a little bit of the tennis,
yeah. Yeah. The Wimbledon. I didn't even know it was on. I heard nothing about it.
Yeah, it started Monday.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's how out of it I am at the moment. Not that I'm usually particularly that interested in the tennis. But usually you'd hear about it. Maybe it's just this pandemic and shit. It's just like...
Wimbledon I usually have a bit of a look at.
Yeah, I had no idea it was on.
It's usually only when the Aussies are playing though.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to try something this week.
It could be dangerous.
Yeah. It might even be a bit annoying for the listeners out there. But I've realized recently when I've been doing my videos and stuff, and particularly on the podcast, that I use a lot of what are called filler words. Right? And I've got to try and get out of the habit. I've got to break the habit because I always feel like it's really unprofessional, particularly when I'm in an interview. And like I was in the interviews the other day and I was thinking, fuck, I'm like, So I've been reading into how you can get yourself out of doing it. Okay. And the best way they reckon is to have someone with you, and every time you use a filler word, they clap.
Oh, God.
So I want you, every time you hear me go, or or something, just fucking clap. And they reckon it's like this psychological thing where you're like, oh, fuck, I've done it again. And you like...
It's like that shock collar you put on.
Yeah.
You get your shock collar.
Yeah, you learn to subliminally not do it. So we'll give it a crack. If you can even remember, but we'll give it a try.
You know what my memory's like?
Yeah, I know. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, if you do happen to hear me like clap, because I listen to other podcasts and shit. I listen to other interviews and stuff. I never see the people going. I mean, sometimes it could be like a matter of editing or whatever, but I know it's a very bad habit I have. So anyway, if you hear me using a filler word, as they're called, just give me a little clap. Or maybe give me something like that. I don't know. That's what I thought. We'll give it a try. I've got to get out of this habit. So this week, first test. There you go. This week, see, it's really hard though, because you use filler words. From what I've read or watched, you use it as like a subliminal.
Think time.
Yeah, it's like a subliminal way for you to extend your speech to let other people know that you're not finished.
Okay.
So you could be talking and you go, just to let people know, subliminally let people know, or subconsciously rather, not subliminally, subconsciously let people know that you're not finished your speech.
Oh.
So it is really hard to be able to like, okay, guys, so next up, we got, Yeah. So anyway, I try and break the fucking habit just so it becomes nature. It's that next last little bit of speech that I need to get down. Let me know down in the comments.
Good luck with that.
Or write or email. Let me know if you also have trouble with filler words. It's not just me.
I do it all the time.
I'm sure it's everyone. But I just feel like when I'm more in this situation where I have to be presenting or whatever, I need to cut. I need to snap out of it. I need to learn not to do it. So anyway, this week...
I do it a bit when I'm in a situation where I've got to think a bit.
Yeah.
It gives me a little bit of thinking time.
Well, I think that's what it is. It's like it signifies to the other person that you're not finished your conversation, you're thinking about what to say next. It's just like a way to fill that space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All these things about the human brain, huh?
If you got one.
Yeah, well. So this week, we've... You missed again. Yeah. This ain't going to work. No, I'm doomed.
It's not because I don't hear it.
I'm doomed. Well, yeah. So this week, I haven't really watched a lot because of everything that's been going on. But had a bit of chance to watch a couple of things, but because of the late nights and whatever else, some cartoon news I had to cover in the mornings the last 2 or 3 days. Haven't really watched a lot. I watched a couple of older movies earlier in the week. I'm not going to talk about them. There's not much to write home about.
Yep.
Or write to the listeners about. But I did finally get around to watching Total Recall.
You never watched it before?
Never watched it.
Oh.
Yeah, finally watched it.
I'm glad you have now.
Fucking awesome.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad you like it.
I loved it. Have you seen it ever?
Yeah, I have.
Probably at some point.
But it's not really my
You're
thing.
not a huge Arnie.
No, well, Arnie's okay, but that's just not one of my...
It's great.
Not really my wheelhouse, that sort of movie.
It's good. It was fun. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I liked it. I really liked it. I watched it on my tally in 4K. So when we come home from football and...
Talking about 4K tallies.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Shit. Doubling back to what's happened this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, I was doing a bit of housework the other day and had the tally going in the background.
It was actually last Friday after we finished the podcast.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because I was editing the podcast at the time.
I was pottering around the house and
yeah.
had the tally going in the background. I hear poof, and all the power in the house went off.
Except for my room somehow.
Because there's different circuits throughout the house. So the circuit that was on, which includes the theatre room and all that sort of stuff, everything went off. I thought, shit, what the hell was that? Couldn't smell anything, like there's nothing on fire or anything. I thought, oh my God, is there something, is there something downstairs that's tricked it? And then I thought to myself, So I went out and looked at the switchboard outside. Sure enough, the switch was off. Tried to flick it back on, it flicked straight back off. I thought, oh, shit, okay, something's died. Came inside and thought, what could it be? I thought, let's unplug the tally first. Went outside and it flicked back on. Then I said, Dave, stand by the tally, plug it in, I'll go turn it off, and I'll flick it back on and see what happens. So I flicked it back on, and what did you hear?
Yeah, poof. Yeah, as soon as you flicked it, because you're on the phone, you're like, okay, I'm going to switch it on now, and I hear you go click, and they go poof.
Yeah, and it turned straight back off again. Sure enough, the bloody tally blew up.
Yeah. Now, this wasn't a 4K tally.
No, it wasn't a 4K.
HD
it was
tally.
about 9 years old.
Yeah.
It was a Samsung. Shouldn't mention that. No, it doesn't matter. It's a Samsung.
Who cares? It's a review. It's tech review.
Exactly right.
This is what's happened to our Samsung
exactly right.
unit.
I think I paid about $3,500 for it 9 years ago. So it wasn't a bottom end one. It was a good quality one. Supposed to be.
It's like top of the line at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was top of the line Samsung at the time. And about the last 2.5 years, I had 2 lines of dead pixels down the right side of the tally. But it didn't bother me because it didn't really notice.
Well, we already had a short circuit on the tally at one point.
Well, exactly right. It was only about 3 years old.
They had to come out and replace the...
I think it was the motherboard, some motherboard or some bloody thing on it in it. But yeah, so 9 years old and it's bloody blown up totally. You think you'd get a bit more than 9 years out of it. So I thought, fuck it, go buy a new one.
Yeah, so you bought a 4K
tally
now.
I bought myself a nice Sony 4K. I was going to get the 75-inch, but they're not available yet, so I just stuck with the 65.
And it was like an extra $700 or $1,000 or something?
An extra $1,400.
Oh, yeah, well, not
so
worth it.
Nah, fuck it, just keep the 65. So at least I got a 4K tally now.
Yeah, now we've been advocates for Samsung for a long time.
Yeah.
But I feel like their products just don't have that longevity.
No,
like
that's
that
right.
one has died twice, essentially. This time it's irreparable.
Yeah.
First time they came replaced it, as
well,
you
even
said.
if it was repairable, I'm not going to bother because it's old tech now.
Yeah. And then you had the Lions down, so that got 9 years. And the players, we've had two.
Because those pixels, they died when you were overseas still.
Yeah.
So that's probably 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, so anyway, so we've also had 2 players which are not really working.
No, that's right.
The one in here keeps refusing to play discs. It keeps doing stupid shit.
We've updated the firmware on them too, so there's not firmware.
One in my room, which is the model up from the one that was in here, it can't play. Sometimes I just put a disc in it and it goes. Actually, this one in here does that, and then spits it out. The one in my room just comes up with a message that's like, "Cannot play this disc," or "Disc is not the capable something." It's not. You can't play it. Yeah. But it's only new discs, newly released, newly pressed discs. Yeah, I've done firmware and everything on it. So anyway,
and yours makes a noise playing DVDs.
DVDs every time I put it. It's fine with Blu-rays or 4Ks. Every time I play a DVD in it. Oh no, not that. It's like a really loud fan, like.
That's just the disc spinning so fast. Yeah, can't read it.
It's weird. And every time I play a 4K in it, if you pause it and you play it again, it goes out of sync, and then you have to rewind it.
This one was doing that too.
Yeah, you rewind it. You rewind it a couple of seconds and then play it again, and it's fine.
Yeah, the one in here was doing that.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can advocate for Samsung anymore.
No, so this time I bought a Sony TV, and it's the latest model Sony one.
Yeah,
and bought a couple of new Blu-ray players as well.
Yeah,
a couple of Panasonic.
The Panasonic one.
The UB20,
P820
or whatever. Whatever. It's
apparently the best one on the market. Everyone's saying it's like the best.
Well, thing. They do. I think they do another model or two that are above that. They're like
there's
about
$1,000.
Yeah,
but the only difference is got like a tuner or something. Everyone is saying
hard drives and all that sort of stuff.
Everyone says the model that you've bought is the model to get.
Yeah,
because it.
Also, I read a lot of reviews as well because you were telling me about that, and so I thought, I'll have a look at some reviews and look at a few, tech reviewers, and they were saying the same. They were comparing that with Sony players and stuff, and and these were coming out on top.
I've heard people say it's better than that. It's comparable to the Oppo.
Oh, really?
The old Oppo player. So there you go.
Just Michael won't like to hear that.
Yeah, no. I don't do the Oppos anymore.
You sure?
Yep, they stopped doing them.
Did they really? I wonder why.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
So there we go. New TV and Blu-ray player. We don't get the TV till next week sometime.
That's all right. So you're finally going to get 4K out there. So the next thing we need to look at is 4K in here.
Well, yeah, that's the next thing. So if there's a supplier or a manufacturer out there,
we need.
We wouldn't mind a 4K projector.
4K projector would be lovely, or like 100-inch flat screen telly, 95-inch. If you can provide us with one of them, that'd be lovely. We've got the players. That's fine. We might even need to. We've got to have to update the sound system. The amp needs to change because the amp doesn't support 4K.
Yep.
And then probably all the speakers got to change too for Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there is anyway linked
and want to sponsor us,
go ahead. We'll
take it.
We'll do a podcast where we just fucking do out the whole theatre room.
And we can do fan events and everything. We have watch parties and
it'd be great.
Can you imagine that? 4K laser player.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Nice.
So please, if you...
please.
Anyway. So, I know. Back to what we've been watching, hey. So I watched...
Let's start that segment again then.
Yeah. Back to what we've been watching. Total Recall. I watched on my 4K telly in my room because I've had it on... I think we may have had the DVD. I never watched it. I bought the Blu-ray years ago. Never watched it. I almost watched it recently, and then I found out the 4K was coming. I was like, fuck it, I'll wait for the 4K. So I bought the 4K. It's fucking awesome. Like, really good picture. Gorgeous. But I enjoyed the movie. Thought it was good. So it's worth the wait. One of those ones that's worth the wait. So now I've got to watch the remake with Colin Farrell, which is apparently not as good. So I enjoyed that. And then we watched Turner and Hooch, the original Tom Hanks film.
Yeah. That's always good to watch.
That's so fun.
Love it. Love visiting those old Tom Hanks films.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch Big again.
Big and what was it? The renovation one?
Money Pit.
Yeah,
The Burbs.
The Burbs, that was the other one. Yeah.
Such good stuff.
Burbs was good.
Yeah.
Favourite scene in The Burbs is when it was the kid delivering the paper and he throws his coffee at him or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Typical Tom
So
Hanks.
funny.
Tom Hanks seen that one.
Bachelor Party, movie you can get away with today.
Yeah. God, totally inappropriate, that one.
No, his
But
early
great
movies,
fun.
Yeah, his early movies, so much fun. All his movies are great, but those comedy films that he did like at the beginning of his career, so good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so Turner and Hooch, always fun to revisit. It was one of the first Touchstone pictures.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that Disney did back in the day. That's why Disney Plus is obviously doing the series now.
Oh, right.
They have the rights to it. We watched a couple of newer titles as well. Firstly, watched one called Misbehavior. Do you remember much of this one? This was the one with the fashion, the Miss World competition.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Kinnear's in there as Bob Hope, and you got Keira Knightley.
Wasn't bad.
It was pretty good.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, a British film about the Miss World competition that happened was it London? Somewhere in the UK anyway.
Yeah, it was.
They got Bob Hope out to host, and then this feminist group decides to go there and stage a protest during the event. So that completely overturns the event, and then the first black woman to ever win Miss World wins, which also is, as you can imagine, in the time, was a fucking huge thing. So the whole night was just just turned on its head. And it's quite a good movie, quite a good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
Wasn't amazing.
No, but it was a good
Enjoyable.
story and based on a true story. So
enjoyed it. Good, all good cast. Love Greg Kinnear.
But I didn't realise. Didn't realise it was a Greg Kinnear, until halfway through the film.
Yeah, he did it quite well.
Oh my god, that's Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, Keira Knightley, I always like. And I can't remember who else was in that.
I'd go hot and cold with Keira Knightley.
Yeah, her movie. She's one of those ones that is good, but doesn't always pick the right. Her projects are sometimes a bit.
Yeah, sometimes she's a bit of a wet fish.
Yeah, I was going to say Colin Firth.
Yes, we always see Colin Firth films and think, oh, Jesus, this looks really good. You watch it and you think,
I think she's maybe a little bit like the female equivalent to Colin Firth.
Yeah, that'd be about right. yeah.
But I like her. I think maybe
I like Colin Firth too, but
yeah, exactly
films
right.
Are just blah.
Yeah, but I like her probably because of Pirates. I love the Pirates films, so I just whatever.
But I go hot and cold with her.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So I watched that one. It was all right. She was good in that.
In fact, she's probably my least favourite character in Love Actually.
Yeah, she's not great in that. It's a really annoying character, yeah.
It's just... Ugh.
Yeah, it's that storyline is just
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we watched... we watched one called Richard Says Goodbye. It's known as The Professor in the States.
That was good.
Fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Got trashed on Rotten Tomatoes. It was like a 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's you and your cronies.
Yeah. No. Hey, it was it's like 10% critics.
Really?
Yeah, let's have a look. But
that was enjoyable. I really enjoyed
the
that.
audience score is huge on it though. It's like 77%.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
It was really good.
Does not surprise me.
I think this sort of came out. When did this? 2018? No, so maybe it was a bit early. But I think
just so gone.
I was going to say I think it might have came out sort of around the time they were having all that trouble. There was the court cases and stuff.
Yeah,
I think maybe it's a bit early for that. I don't know, but I feel like something just tanked, unfortunately. But I loved it.
I was going to say that's where you were a little bit odd.
Why?
Because you review it as a fan,
not
as a critic.
Yeah, I've slid in. I've infiltrated.
Yeah, because you watch a film for what it is. You don't try and read too much into all the bullshit behind it.
Exactly.
You get some of those reviewers that are just absolute wankers.
Should we have a look at some of the reviews?
And we hear, and even these, when we go to screenings and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get groups of critics and stuff standing around after the film just banging on about, and we just walk past thinking, you are a wanker.
Yeah. Someone on here's called it drivel. A spectacularly ill-timed movie. So I feel like, I don't know what was happening at the time. Something happened that I feel like has affected how it performed.
Yeah,
the biggest problem with The Professor is one of casting. Movie makes no sense from a purely human perspective. I don't know. You always find these movies where maybe the stars maybe got a little bit of controversy around the time. They perform poor with critics.
Yeah.
But audiences are usually more receptive to go and see a movie with someone in it.
Yeah.
And, it's that art over artist kind of thing.
Mm.
But anyway, I loved it. I thought it was so good. The byline the synopsis doesn't even have one. Oh, after learning he has 6 months to live, a college lecturer transformed into a rebellious party animal. I don't know if I even said who was in this, Johnny Depp. To the shock of his wife and school chancellor and the delight of his students, he leads a crusade against authority and hypocrisy. It was good. Really good movie.
Most of the what do you call it, secondary cast were pretty good too.
Had Zoe Deutch in it, Rosemary DeWitt, Ron Livingston, Danny Houston. Yeah, good cast. It was very good. Enjoyed it. Really liked it.
Enjoyed it. It's worth a look.
Seek it out. This is one that we just found on a whim as well. It was
IMDb. Say about it.
I think it's got like a 6.5 or a 7 or something. But this is one at the JB Hi-Fi buy one get one free. We just saw sitting there. We're like, what's this? I'm like, oh, it looks okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So I picked it up. It was obviously a
all right.
If we picked it up on a whim from JB Hi-Fi, because we would have looked at the IMDb and sussed it out. What are you doing? Trying to do a search?
Just pull my phone out. It's quicker on my phone to do a search.
Yeah. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Very, very, very good film. And again, one I've not heard of it. Never heard of it. Obviously, it just got buried. But it's called Richard Says Goodbye in Australia. So if you're in Australia, you want to pick it up, you can find it under the title Richard Says Goodbye. Otherwise, overseas, it's called The Professor.
6.7.
There you go.
6.7.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Which is sort of almost in line with Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Hey, the good thing about it, I felt like I've always said I like Johnny Depp. I like most of his movies, but my biggest problem with him over the last 10 or 15 years is that he plays the same character over and over again.
Yeah, exactly right.
And it's like he had this huge popularity with Jack Sparrow that's like every film after that is fucking Jack Sparrow.
Willy Wonka's just Jack Sparrow in different clothes, really.
Willy Wonka is Jack Sparrow. You've got Tonto, Jack Sparrow as Tonto. Yep. Or as I like to say, it's Johnny Depp starring as Johnny Depp as Johnny Depp.
Yep.
But he was very good in this.
Yeah.
This is like his best performance in a long time. You feel like he's actually invested in it. He's like, let's do it.
These more dramatic stuff, more dramatic stuff he does is really good.
Very good. Anyway, suss it out if you can. Very, very good film.
Worth a look.
The other one we watched over the weekend, The King of Staten Island.
Loved it.
Oh, so good.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved that.
What's his name? Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
I've never really been a fan of him. I don't think I'd ever really seen him on much, but I was never really huge on him. I know he did Saturday Night Live. I'm not a big fan of Saturday Night Live, the new stuff. But sussed it out. Of course, the Judd Apatow film, who's never let me down in the past.
He does good work. Does very good work.
Yeah.
But that was a really good film. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, very fantastic.
Really, really good
film.
It's
like I didn't realise it. It was like a sort of a semi-biographical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he had
really quite interesting.
A bit of a tough upbringing and stuff.
Father passed away during the 9/11 attacks.
Yep.
A firefighter.
He was only 7 or something at the time.
Yeah.
7 or something like that.
So the film is sort of about him. It's sort of about that, about a guy whose father dies in a fire and the way it's affected the rest of his life. And it's like sort of semi-autobiographical. Really good. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, so did I. It's really worth a look.
I always think comedy should not go like a minute over 90 minutes. If I see a comedy that's like 2 hours, I think, fucking hell, it's too long. Yeah. This is like 2.5 hours. But Judd Apatow somehow manages to time and time again deliver these really great, I guess what I would call an epic, like a comedy epic.
Yeah,
it's like a really long comedic film. Stuff like I think this is, what's it called? This is 40, I adored, which is the spin-off of the Knocked Up with Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann, who is Judd Apatow's wife, actually.
Yep.
And that was... I love that. That was like 2 hours something as well. He's done a number of comedies which are long over 2 hours, Judd Apatow, and his works are just terrific.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic, but it was obviously Pete Davidson. Did he write? Who wrote it?
Yeah.
Was it both of them wrote it together?
He was one of the writers.
Judd Apatow,
Pete Davidson, David Sears.
Jeez. So there you go.
Cyrus or however you want.
So we've got another Pete Davidson film out there. It's called Big Time Adolescence, which I want to check out as well. I don't really know anything about it, but I'm keen now.
Yeah.
I know a bit about him. I like him.
Yeah, and he's covered in tattoos, and they're actually his own tattoos.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
No, neither did I. I had to go searching and found out that it was, oh shit, they are his own tats. But it was a great film.
Yeah,
really,
so
really
good. Check
good
it out.
film.
I don't know why.
Enjoyed it.
I think it was one that I was like, I don't know about it, but I don't know why I doubted it, because I fucking love Judd Apatow's work. I think he's like the best comedic director, writer of our era. I think he's just terrific. I love his stuff. It's really much like very much like some of that early 80s or late, that 80s stuff, that some of those really great comedic drama films that come out of that period, like the Bill Murrays and those kinds of things. I think it's great. Yeah. Loved it. Really loved it.
Yep. No, I totally agree.
Television-wise, we haven't had a lot of time to watch TV this week. Cause
no.
We've had reality shows have been on that we've been into. They've all finished. Thank God.
Mother likes that.
That stupid Ninja Warrior. I shouldn't say that. I know people who are on it.
Exactly right.
But fucking hell. Mike Snow, who I know, I've known for many years.
Went to high school
with him. He's fucking jacked.
Oh, he's huge. He's massive.
Fucking hell, man.
Jeez, he's big.
He's so good.
God, he's big.
He's terrific. So I always tune in and I watch. Like if I know Mike Snow's going to be on, I'll tune in and I'll watch him. Yeah. Georgia Benora I know as well. Went to school with her as well. And I always tune in when she's on. So that's all I kind of peek in. I'm keen to see how they do, and the rest of it I'm not that interested in.
Exactly.
It's just the same every year.
Yeah.
There's that's been on. I kind of just duck out. I do my own thing at the time, watch something else, whatever, and then just poke my head in when one of my mates is on.
Exactly.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, so other than that, Big Brother finished this week finally, so we've now got more time to watch some proper shit. And
I enjoyed that this year.
It was good this year, yeah. What else?
Danny, poor bugger.
I know. Danny was the best.
He was a great player. Like he played that game perfectly.
Yeah, I know. But Marley was totally deserving.
Oh, exactly right.
I said, Danny was like my favourite the whole time, but I feel like if it had come down to Danny Marley, you'd vote for Marley because he deserved the money.
Exactly right. Yeah,
he deserved the win.
He's a struggler. Danny's got money, so he doesn't need it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we hated Danny to start with.
Well, you hate him, but it's like,
this guy's what a wanker. Yeah. But it turned out he was probably the best character on it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm sure people haven't tuned in to listen to reality TV talk.
Exactly right.
So anyway, we've got more time to watch stuff, but this week has just been like a write-off between that shit and then the movie we had on the weekend and then whatever else we've been doing this week.
Tuesday night.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Wednesday,
that's what I mean.
Tuesday night.
That's what I mean. Black Widow, yeah. So we've just been out of it, but we did have time, of course. We've been watching Trying, which is Apple TV. Just love it. It's my favourite. That we've watched maybe 3 episodes of that this week. So we've got like 2 left of the second season. So good. I will keep saying it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Apple TV, Trying.
It's a good rom-com.
Great little, it's like
little
25-minute show.
Series.
25 little minutes, easy to watch. Knock it out.
Yeah, it's good.
Done. So that was really it. Other than, of course, we always have to make time for the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And Loki episode 4 was this week. Fuck, what a banger, as the kids these days say.
A banger?
Yeah, it's a banger. Oh. That bangs. It slaps.
Oh, God.
It slaps. Yeah.
Oh, I'm living in a different time, I know.
So am I, though. I'm looking at some of these things. I'm like, fucking hell. It slaps. So where's that come from? I'm at that stage now.
Maybe it's because it's a knee slapper.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe something like that.
I don't know. It's just, that fucking slaps, man. That's such a banger. It bangs. Anyway, I'm at that point now. I'm about to turn 30. I'm like, fuck, I'm old now. This new lingo. I'm like, I'm out of the loop. I'm out of it. I found out recently, actually, the kids of today won't use emojis. Oh no, can't use like the laughing face emoji, or it's not cool. Yeah. And there I am, I'm like, fucking 6 laugh emojis in a row. That's funny. I'm still using LOL and LMAO, fucking whatever.
I don't think I've ever used LOL.
Really? I fucking use it all the time.
One of my younger brothers does all the time. He uses it all the time.
I still use LOL. always lol, 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 lol.
No, I don't think I've ever used it.
I don't think the kids these days use them anymore. It's not cool. So now I'm in that age bracket now. It's
I
like,
want to know, you're a millennial, right?
yes.
What's the next generation?
I think it's is it Gen Z? No, what's the new?
I don't know what it is.
There is a name for it.
Because
Current,
you had Gen X and Gen Y,
and then the millennial.
then millennials.
I think the new generation is Gen Z. Born between 97 and 2012. They're currently between 6 and 24 years old. So I just missed out on being by a few years. So you got Boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, Millennials, Gen Z. And then, the new one that's about to come up is Generation Alpha.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So we're going to start Greek letters now. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, probably. Oh, there you go. So anyway, Generation Alpha. How many? Just trying to find out. The cutoff for being born in Gen X was 1980. Gen Y. Oh, Gen Y is millennials.
No.
Yeah, Gen Y, a.k.a. the millennials. So it is Generation Y, but we're called the millennials because we grew up during the millennium.
Because, see, I always thought you were Gen Y.
Yeah, so there you go. Same thing.
Right.
Gen Y,
okay.
a.k.a. So obviously the term millennials, I think it's only fairly new because it's that way to just like put our generation down. Those fucking kids that grew up during the millennium, those fucking millennials, dickheads. Yeah. So 96 was the cutoff. And then Gen Z cutoff, they reckon, is about 2010, 2012. And then this new one's called the Alpha.
God.
Yeah, that's the Greek letter.
Yeah.
The unofficial namers of generations, marketers, researchers, cultural commentators and the like have affixed to Gen Z successor, the oldest of whom are on the cusp of turning 10, Generation Alpha label. So they reckon that's going to be like 15-year cycle there. That's from The Atlantic, an article from The Atlantic right there. So anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know, Loki.
How did
you started talking about
I was talking about
emojis.
Where did we get onto emojis?
I don't know. I don't know how that started.
Fucking hell.
That's like your mother. She sees something shiny and goes, ooh.
Yeah. Fucking hell. I don't even know what
we got a little bit sidetracked.
Yeah, we did a bit. I don't know. Anyway, apparently emojis are not cool anymore. Like the laughing emojis, the lol. You can't do that shit. They're like, fucking millennials. Yeah, so, that slaps, that bangs. Loki is a banger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I fucking took us down a rabbit hole there. So ananyway, Loki.
Then I dug it a bit deeper.
So anyway, Loki, episode 4, was truly a banger this week. It was terrific. It was great.
I
Very
good.
good.
A banger was in my day.
Oh, yeah, well. Yeah, let's not go there.
No.
It's a rabbit hole we don't need to go down.
No.
So that was great this week. I'm really nervous about saying anything too spoilery about these things because I know a lot of people wait for the whole series to do its course and then watch it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to avoid the spoilers though, 'cause it's all over Twitter immediately, and even Disney will start marketing the next week's episode with spoilers from the previous week.
Yeah.
But I know I've got people on here listening that are trying to avoid stuff, so I find it hard. But there's some pretty good revelations this week.
So block your ears if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, if I can block your ears, come back a couple of minutes. Time goes down below.
Unless we go down another rabbit hole.
God,
Come back in half an hour.
No, it was good. There were some good revelations. Got to see some characters pop in. They were great. That scene, you were kind of dozing in and out, but the scene where they come up, fucking block your ears out there if you're not in spoilers. If the scene with the timekeepers, at the very end where they finally come up with the timekeepers, did you have trouble understanding what they were saying?
Yeah, I did.
I've heard this from everyone.
Yep.
I've had at least 2 or 3 chats where people are like, hey, could anyone hear what the timekeepers were saying?
I need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, because you were dozing. I'll watch it again. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's been saying really fucking hard. So I'm in a couple of my chat groups. Someone was like, did anyone have a problem hearing the timekeepers? Like, yeah, absolutely. Then another group was like, said the same. And then I spoke to my cousin the other day and I said to her, did you have... I was like, could you understand the timekeeper? She's like, fuck no. It's like we had to rewind and put the subtitles on. Oh, and she said, the words of my mother, so your sister-in-law, she said, what was the point of that? Like, why would they do it? Yeah, it was really hard to just, hey, Loki. I'm literally sitting there like, the fuck? I didn't even think to rewind and just put the things on. I did yesterday. She was like, I've got to go back and see what they're saying. I was like, yeah, I didn't pick any of that up.
God, I'll have to do it.
And it's 3 characters. All 3 characters were like, the timekeepers.
Oh.
Crap.
A little bizarre.
Anyway.
I'll have to go back and do it. And
they might fix the interesting thing about Disney Plus is that because it's such a strange distribution method, they can go back and modify the shows, and they have on multiple occasions.
Have they really?
There was this scene in The Mandalorian where there was a guy, they left one of like the stagehands in it, and he's just this guy in the background wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and everyone like dubbed him like Jeans Guy in the background, and Disney went back and they fixed it, they erased him and just like replaced the episode. And they recently did it with WandaVision, something came up this week where they've altered the end sequence. You know, the end credit scene where she's in the cabin.
Yeah.
It's like a big like panoramic shot of the cabin, and then she's sitting there, and then she walks in. They've added more trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they added more trees. They fixed a couple of little CG things. There was like a little duck swimming in the pond that they took out.
God.
Yeah, weird. So I reckon the next thing will be fucking go back and fix up the timekeepers audio.
Maybe.
Who knows? So weird. But how weird is that? This day, I mean, like we know George Lucas used to go back and do Star Wars every 10 years, but you can literally release something now and go, "Fuck, there's a mistake. Go and fix it up," and it's fixed. That's just this weird distribution method, like
bizarre,
crazy. So anyway, Loki 4 was great.
It was good.
We watched.
I thought Loki 3 was a bit.
Yeah, you were
a little bit slower.
All right, but when you watch this one, it makes sense.
Exactly right. I was going to say.
Yeah.
So was there 2 episodes left there?
Yeah, 2 more.
Awesome.
2 more to go. We also, again, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I want to see if I've got an email.
Well, I can't say I can't.
I'm sure I can, but look, I'll just hang tight on that for a week because they're very they're like you can't release anything on this.
Yeah.
Like the junket interview.
Yep.
Usually you can release a junket interview a bit earlier than your review. But they're like, hard. Yeah. So I'm very nervous. So anyway, something that's coming up on Disney Plus soon we watched, and I won't even say what we thought about it, but it's coming up.
That's right.
You ready for a very special...
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, because I hit the headphones.
I was a little too loud again today.
Oh, Deadwood update.
Yeah, hey, guess what?
Finished the series!
Yes! Yes! Deadwood is finished.
After about 16 years or whatever it's been, we've finally got through the whole series.
Oh, thank you, guys. Cut it out.
And the best episode was the second last one because the last one was just...
What the hell? We say this every time. Something big happens. It's like, yes! Oh, something's happening. What's going to happen next week? And then it's like, fucking nothing happened. We thought the last episode there was going to be an all-out war or something, and it just fizzled out. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Oh, fucking hell. Such an opportunity wasted.
I said to you, surely they didn't know that they were... How do you... not even how do you end a show like that? How do you end just a season of television?
Exactly right.
Because they fulfilled that entire season. Even if they didn't know... Even if they didn't have that time to be able to go, we need to wrap it up... The way they ended that season, just as a season of television.
I mean, almost every TV series you watch, there's a cliffhanger episode.
Cliffhanger or just like a really great final.
Exactly right. But there was just fizzled out.
Nothing. Crap.
They obviously didn't know that it was being axed.
Yeah, well, I don't think they did, no.
So they've just...
Which is why, which is why I then say, but why end a season like that?
Yeah, that's right.
Just in general. Even if there was Deadwood season 4 after it, why do you end a season like that? Crap.
Yeah,
crap.
It was not great.
Anyway, we've still got the fucking movie to go, so we're not going to celebrate too much just yet. That's it. And that's done.
Deadwood Tuesday.
That's done.
We'll be done next week.
And then we've got to get Wacko Jacko, World's Worst Manager, over to watch the movie with us. Self-appointed manager, world's worst. And he hasn't seen the movie, but he's watched the show, yeah.
So that's Tuesday night. So is he coming over Tuesday night? Or?
I don't know. Should I ring him?
Yeah, ring him.
Okay. Let's see if I can...
See if he's around.
Let's see if we can get this working this week, because last time we tried to call someone on a whim we couldn't get it going through the box. So I'm going to give it a try again.
Get him on. We'll see if
Bluetooth on. Let's have a look. Connect it to the Rodecaster. Connection unsuccessful. iPhone can no longer connect to the Rodecaster. Okay, forget device and let's repair it. I tell you, this is what happens on live radio. I'm leaving it all in. I don't care.
Yeah, well, there you go. Shit happens.
It. I know. JBL. Come on, you bastard. Give me something. There we go. Rodecaster Pro. Oh, it's ticking away. Oh, we're connected. Connected. All right. I don't know if he's at work. I don't care.
Oh, we'll get him sacked. It doesn't matter. Yeah. He won't mind.
No. Okay. Wacko Jacko, where is he? There he is. Let's see if it comes through the deck this time.
Hope so.
Okay, it says Rodecaster Pro. Calling. It's calling. I don't hear it. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's working. It's working.
Good.
Hello.
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 Hello. You're on the Daily Down Under podcast.
Oh, yes.
How's it going?
I'm going good. How are you guys going?
We're going well, thank you.
Are you at work, mate, or what?
No work. No work.
Fair enough.
Bugger. I was hoping to get you sacked.
But we don't want to do you a favour.
Yeah. I have to... Well, actually, I was going to ask you something, but before that, I know everyone out there is wondering about the stickers. What the fuck is going on with the stickers?
Pretty sure I told you, let's have a meeting, and you were like, yeah, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
And then we went into lockdown.
And then but I saw you last week.
Yeah.
And I said to you then, what's happening with the stickers? And you, yeah. Fucking hell. Anyway, what I'm actually asking you, what I'm calling you about, but anyway, little kick in the pants there, manager.
Okay,
get on the stickers.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, because people want the stickers.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are calling you because we finished Deadwood this week, and we're gonna watch the movie next week, and we're just double checking that you're still coming to watch Deadwood the movie.
Of course, I'm coming to watch Deadwood the movie. I would never not come.
All right.
Like that. You know.
Yeah, you're excited for it. You're excited to see how it all ends.
I am way more excited for this than I am to see your weakest link performance. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah. We've moved on from that. We don't talk about that anymore. Hey, fucking drag Tim along. He's never watched an episode of the show, but it'll be brilliant. Love to see what he thinks about it.
Get his take?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I'll see what I can do. I'll try and bribe him with one of your stickers.
Okay, yes.
You've seen you saw the whole series, didn't you?
Yes. Seen it a couple of times.
Couple of times.
How did you reckon the series finished off in that last episode?
Oh no, I was not happy with it.
Yeah, no, we were just saying that. We just saying how shit it was. The episode before was fantastic. It was really good. And we thought, it looks like it's going to be an all-out war next week. Yeah. And it just fizzled down into shit again. Like it was big opportunity lost.
I think, especially with Deadwood, the series finales in general just haven't been like, at the end of each season, they've just been like, oh, well, I guess it's just, all a bit strange.
The end of the first season wasn't bad because that gave a bit of promise that it was going to, really fire up in the second season, and it just went, ugh.
Yeah, crap.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely excited for the movie.
Awesome. We're excited too. We'll fire up the popcorn machine again, have some more popcorn. Since we didn't die last time from it. All that shit has been sitting in there for 3 years. We're still in date, thankfully. We're all here to tell the tale.
Nothing in it to go off. So.
I know. Anyway, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. And get to those stickers. Get it happening.
Take it easy. Take it easy, Dave. Take it easy, old mate Rick.
Thanks, mate.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
See you then. Oh, I can't wait. There we go. Okay, we've got Wacko Jacko, World's Worst Manager, is coming over to watch Deadwood with us. Deadwood the movie. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Disconnect that from my phone now just in case. Who knows what's going to happen. So there we go. We got Deadwood the movie coming up this week, and then we can finally celebrate. Fucking hell. Hey, if he's not working, we might get him on the show next week. He can join us and talk about it. Yeah.
I'll
float that by him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
Yeah, shit. So this, we've ended June. We're in July now. And for once, I've not forgotten that I need to do my Letterboxd wrap for the month.
Oh, okay.
So Letterboxd wrap for June is really nothing that exciting. I watched 42 months in June. Sorry, I watched
42 months.
Yeah, shit. It's a long month, guys. It's a long month in lockdown. Watched 42 movies in June, which is one shy of the month before where I watched 43 movies. Now, that month was the second highest month I've had all year, so I could have equaled it with June, but I didn't.
Yeah.
If I realised, I probably could have squished an extra one or two in there. But I didn't. Of course, the best one of the year so far is January. 59 films.
You won't top that this year.
I don't think so. I've watched 257 total this year so far. Yeah.
That's about 400 hours or so.
No, actually, it breaks it down, man.
Does it?
Yeah, if you look on Letterboxd, it breaks it down. I saw it yesterday and thought, fuck, what am I doing with my life? Okay, stats. Here we go. 2021. 470 hours so far this year.
Geez.
Yeah. How much was last year, man? Because last year I watched 565 movies and total was over 1,000 hours, 1,020 hours.
Jeez.
What am I doing with my life? What am I doing?
That's 20. That's no. Yeah, 25. That's about 20. No, it can't be right.
What?
Yeah, that's about 25 weeks, working weeks
Just constantly watching.
of watching.
Fucking, what a life.
So 40-hour weeks.
Beautiful. I love it.
Bloody hell.
So anyway, there's been no change on the director. The number one director is still J. Oliver at 6, who is one of the DC animated film directors. Yep. I've stopped watching them for a bit. Justin Lin, of course, from Fast and Furious franchise, he's slid into second spot with 5 movies because we watched a shitload of Fast and Furious. Watch all of them.
Yeah.
There's been no change to the actors. Jean-Claude Van Damme is still up there, number 1, tied with Andrea Romano from, again, the DC films. But Paul Walker has slid in at number 2 with 8 films.
Ooh.
And then we've got Vin Diesel, Ludacris, Sung Kang, Jordana Brewster. They're all on 7.
Jeez, I wonder what they were in.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that's the Letterboxd wrap for this month or last month. So we're going to outdo it this month, July. It's going to be a big month. I can't wait. I promise. Well, I'm not going to make any promises.
No.
So this week we hopped on down to the cinema. Got on our horse.
In the jam factory?
Yeah, down the jam factory. Got some jam and then... I
wonder if it was actually a jam factory.
I think it was because it's an old building. It's like old brick building. It must be heritage listed.
1800s or something, I think it was built.
There you go.
1880 something.
Yeah. So anyway, we went to the jam factory to see Black Widow. We were talking about it before. Let's talk about what we thought about the movie now. What did you think about Black Widow?
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to.
No.
Because she's not really one of my characters. But it was good to see that sort of story where she sort of disappeared to between, what was it?
Civil War, Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, of course, as we all know, she doesn't survive Infinity War. So you sort of, and then she goes disappearing after Civil War.
Yeah.
And you find out where she's been and what she was doing. And
yeah.
It was actually really good.
Yeah, I thought so. I've always said, I never thought, there are characters that I feel like hold their own in a film, and there are characters that I've always been like, I don't know if they would do that well in a solo film. Black Widow is one of them. Hawkeye is another one of them. Even the Hulk, to an extent, is another one, because his movies are always, a little bit iffy. And there are these characters that I always feel like they're not going to work by themselves. And I think Marvel realised, and maybe that's why they put off doing a Black Widow movie for so long, is because they know that this is a character that needs that ensemble to surround them, to help boost them. Yeah. And they made this an ensemble piece. It's not really, though it's a solo film, they kept that idea of it being an ensemble film with with all the other characters that surround her, and all the better for it.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I thought about while we were watching it was there was that period a few years ago where just about every film that came out that had a female lead didn't do well. They decided they were never going to do one with the female lead again. Yeah. And then they've gone back and you've got this one, and it's going to do well. It's going to do well.
Well, in pandemic terms, it'll do well.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, well, that's right.
I think this would have broken. We could have got very close to breaking $1 billion.
Probably.
Captain Marvel. What did Captain Marvel make? This is pre-pandemic.
Well, so that's another one where they've used a female lead as well.
We're talking like
good films.
We're talking like 2000, probably like 2005, 6, where there was a string of these female-led movies that just absolutely tanked at the box office. We're not doing them. Studios didn't want to touch female-led films, and they're doing it now. Yeah, Captain Marvel was $1.12 billion. $1.128 billion. So Black Widow would have smashed it.
Oh, for sure.
Black Widow should have been the first female-centric solo film, the MCU, I think.
Right, yeah.
But there you go. So I think Black Widow would have slapped, would have done gangbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Of course, you've got theatre option, but it's on Disney Plus with Premier Access as well.
Right.
They haven't been releasing the Premier Access numbers, but who knows if it does.
Who knows?
This is the first Marvel. This is the first Marvel movie that's going Premier Access. So I think
the Marvel fans are pretty diehard.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the kind of movie where people will slap down the money for it. They won't go, I have to pay $30 to watch Premier Access. They'll watch it because if I can watch it,
you can watch it more than once too.
Exactly right. Yeah.
When you do that.
Yeah. So I think it'll do well. I think it's going to do well, and it's a great movie. It was one that I've been looking forward to, but not being like overhyped over.
Yeah, I was the same.
I think even obviously the because it's been delayed a year, that put a dampener on the hype. But I think even before that, I was like, this is going to be great, but it's not one I'm like really looking forward to. I don't know why. I think just because.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's just I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So good. It was just completely. But maybe even I said this in my review. Maybe going into something like this without that expectation makes it better.
Well, it was like Iron Man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We went in not expecting much from it at all because we didn't know the character that well.
Yeah.
But it's turned out that's one of my favourite. Yeah, the whole series, How
many times do you go into a film and you're like, "Fuck yes, it's gonna be the greatest thing."
Exactly
overhype
right.
it, and you watch it,
and think,
just falls a bit short. Yeah, or it just doesn't live up to that hype. Yeah,
exactly.
So anyway, loved it. I loved it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so
fun. And it's good to see them using female leads again.
Yeah, exactly right. Because they've
got
great.
The guts to go and do
it. I love the female superhero characters. It's just fucking so fun. Yeah, Captain Marvel, I love just even like
she was there on the other night too.
There was a what do you call it?
Really good costume.
Yeah, fantastic. It's cosplay. That's what I was looking for. Who was going to say like Valkyrie from Thor? I'm so excited to see because in the next Thor you're going to get Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's character. She's going to come back and be the Lady Thor. Or just the Mighty Thor, they call her. Fuck, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then female Loki is great. They're going to do the hot toy. I'm going to have to buy the hot toy. Oh, and because that's happening, unfortunately, I'm going to have to buy a Loki as well because I have a Loki.
So stop buying that shit.
One day.
Yeah, well.
One day. So anyway, that was great. Enjoyed it. Had fun.
Yeah, it was good. Did enjoy it.
Well, I will quickly. Actually, there was something else I was going to briefly talk about that happened this week that I wanted to do like a little review. I was going to put it in there and I forgot. What did we watch? What review did I release this week on the channel?
Oh, I don't know.
Monsters at Work.
Yeah,
I don't need to spend too long talking about it, but we watched Monsters at Work. What, 2 episodes?
2. What
did you think about it?
That was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. It wasn't, wasn't Monsters University or Inc. or whatever it was called. Yeah. But it's just the TV version of that.
Yeah.
And I like those. I like those Monsters Inc. films. So the series was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun. It obviously doesn't. It's not being done by Pixar, so it's not quite to that level.
That quality.
The animation's not what you would expect from a film.
No.
But I found the interesting thing. Look back at the original Monsters Inc. and the animation's very primitive on it. It's one of Pixar. It's like Pixar's 4th movie, I think. Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc. So even the animation's still very primitive. 2001. It's great, good animation, but it's still just it's like early.
Yep.
And I feel like the series, because of its lower budget, has had to strip back on the animation, and it looks visually similar to what the film looked like.
It does.
As a result, and I think it works well because it looks like you can go straight from that original film into. Yeah. It's not that jarring thing like you go from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, where it's like that 30, 20 years difference.
And it's enjoyable.
Yes, it's enjoyable. It's fun.
Yeah,
great characters.
I'll watch the rest of it.
Yeah, Mike and Sally were in it more than I expected too.
Oh yeah, exactly right.
I thought they were just going to pop up every now and then.
And Roz and all the old
Celia,
characters.
the one with the what do you call it? The Medusa,
snakeheads.
Yeah, great. Even I loved that. Just all the little throwbacks to because this is set like a day after the original movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So it starts. Remember, it just starts as they've switched from scares to laughs.
That's right.
So it starts like the day after.
Right.
Mike and Sally are now put in charge and all that. And just the little throwbacks to the movie. So it's almost like because the day after you get throwbacks to things that you saw at the end of the film, or like that character George Sanderson. When the kid first escapes and they had to send that SWAT team in and they put him in the big cone and they strip all his hair off. Yep. And then in this series, you just see him every now and then just walking around, just with no hair. He's got the cone on. So it's these great little sight gags. Yeah. So if you're a fan of the shows, of the movies, it's good. It's good. It's enjoyable. It's very much a kids thing. Obviously, it's a kids show, but I feel like it's got enough there for
there's enough
the
there
older
for
fans.
Adults, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so check it out. I did do full reviews for both Monsters at Work and Black Widow. On my YouTube channel. You can go and check them out. The full things if you want a little bit more in-depth thoughts. Monsters at Work lands on Disney Plus this Wednesday, July 7th. So that'll be available. And Black Widow is out on... Oh, geez, what date is it? It's out on the 9th in theatres and on Disney Plus over in the States. And here in Australia, it opens on the 8th in theatres and the Disney Plus on the 9th. So there you go. Very exciting. I think there's early screenings on the 7th, on the night of the 7th here as well. They don't do them in America anymore. Those late night screenings. No. I think after all the shootings and stuff that happened, I think they banned them. Yeah. So that sucks. Anyway, quick sponsor highlight. Of course, Random Space Media. If you've been listening, you know who these guys are. They're fantastic. Developing a bunch of sort of semi-exclusive releases. Some are exclusive, some you can find at JB. But they partner with Universal, Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, Disney, few other the distributors to put together these great releases of titles that normally wouldn't get wide releases on the Australian market. The code that I had for that has expired now. That did very well. A lot of you went out and you bought shit from Random Space with the code, which is awesome. Very well done. Thank you so much for supporting the guys again. Wasn't an affiliate code. I got nothing out of it, but you're helping to support another fantastic distributor on the local market. And hopefully we're going to get lots more releases from them. But they've just released a whole bunch of stuff this week. I think they're sending them over, but I haven't got them yet. So I'll cover them in a video. But just to let you know, if you want to head over and check them out, they've released French Exit on Blu-ray, which is a new film with Michelle Pfeiffer. It only got a DVD release on wide release. So if you want to get the Blu-ray, you got to go to randomspacemedia.com. They've just released a world exclusive release of Jumanji: The Next Level in 3D. Ooh. It didn't get a 3D release anywhere in the world.
Didn't it?
No. So they've picked up this exclusive 3D of it. They've also just released 4K plus 3D plus 2D combo packs of Venom and Into the Spider-Verse, which we got shafted on back when they were first released. They put them out over in the States, the 4K plus 3D plus 2D, and now we're finally getting them through Random Space Media. And they've also just done a Jumanji 4-film collection, which includes the 3 Jumanji films and Zathura, which has been out of print for a long time, Zathura on Blu-ray. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that was because we had trouble getting that too, didn't we?
Yeah, I haven't got it. I have a DVD of it I think I knocked off from Nan.
Shh, might be listening.
It's actually a film collection. I think it's got the original Jumanji and Zathura in it. It's downstairs in a box, so I can sneak it back in there now.
Yeah,
I get my hands on that. So go and check them out. They've released some great stuff. My code for kicks.com.au is still what do you call it? Active until September. You can use Dave15 at checkout to get 15% off an order. This is, of course, I've teamed up with them in celebration of Indiana Jones 4-movie collection on 4K, ultra high definition Blu-ray, which is gorgeous, highly recommended. But you can buy anything on their site. That includes pre-orders, sale product. Just use Dave15 and get you 15% off over there.
Do it.
Again, that's not an affiliate code. I get nothing out of it. Just go over and support a great team. So we didn't do this last week, but this week we are back to do another edition of Shite or All Right.
All right.
There you go. Beautiful. This is, of course, the game that we like to play, where we pull up a title. We each pull up titles on IMDb and read the synopsis to each other. No spoilers, no character names, no title, nothing like that. Just read the synopsis, and the other person has to decide whether they think it's or...
All right.
Now, we determine whether a movie is... we each get a point each for getting it correct, if we get it correct, and we determine whether a movie is shite or all right, depending on the score that it has on IMDb. That's right. So we always have assumed that anything that's under a 5 is usually pretty...
Under a 6.
Under a 6, so it's usually pretty... and everything that is over a 6
all right.
pretty watchable. So we figure anything that is 0 to 5.9 lands in the shite category. Anything that is 6 and above.
All right.
And we've used that for years as a way of buying our DVDs, Blu-rays and whatever.
Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so last week we missed out on the game, but we did get the week before. We did a game, and Jeff, of course, our mate Jeff B.
I was just about to say our official scorekeeper.
Yes, he wrote in after the last round that we did to keep the score and to keep on top of everything. He made it look even better. He's updated the, the spreadsheet.
Yep.
Looks nice. It's great. He's even added in there, he added something else to it this week. I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah. All right, so anyway, I'll touch on that in a second. So I'm currently winning. It's 15-8 in my favour.
Bastard.
Yeah. You are on a deficit of 2 questions, though. Somehow you've missed out on answering 2 questions.
Well.
So we've got to pick that up at some point along the way. Could boost you up a little bit, hopefully. And this is the thing he added this week. You could. You can do it. Yeah. You've answered... I have answered first 6 times, whereas you have answered first 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the new thing that he's added to the spreadsheet this week. So we'll start with you this week.
All right.
Now, this week, usually we pick them ourselves, but we've had a lot come in from some listeners, viewers out there. So we're going to pick, I think, what are we going to do? We're going to do one from each person?
Yeah, we'll do one from one each from him.
Yeah.
We'll do one each from him and one each from him.
Okay, have you pulled them up?
No, I haven't.
So you're going to pull on that. So let's go. You're going to answer first, right? Yeah, you're going to answer first.
Yeah.
So I'll take the first one from each line, and you take the second one from each line. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull this first one up right here. This one has been sent in by listener Tyson Turner. So thank you for sending...
Thanks, Tyson.
Thanks for sending these in, Tyson. So we are going to have a look. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready, or you...
Well, I was just trying to pull up the first one.
Okay, you've got the first one? Okay, I've got one for you here now.
Yep.
All right, this one here. A police officer faces a personal meltdown following a police officer faces a personal meltdown following a divorce and the death of his mother. Police officer, personal meltdown following a divorce and the death of his mother.
That sounds like it's going to be a load of tripe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think that really appeals to me.
We're allowed, of course, I always forget to mention this, but we're each allowed an assist, which is we can either tell you like who's in it or whatever. But you don't want to use your assist? You think it's going to be a shite?
Yeah, the synopsis just doesn't appeal to me.
Okay.
I'd read the back of that
All right.
This can go.
Yeah. All right. So you'll lock that in.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it is.
All right, all right, all right.
I'm terrible.
Down again, yeah. God. This one is called Thunder Road. It stars Jim Cummings, who you probably recognize. We've seen him in a few things. This guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in, what was he in recently? Oh, he was in Captain America. Oh, he did visual effects for Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, there you go.
But we've seen him in a few things.
Yep.
It's not there's another Jim Cummings that I'm sure listeners, viewers of mine will know, who's a voice actor.
Right.
Very well-known voice actor.
Yep.
Does a lot of Disney stuff, Winnie the Pooh, etc. Not him. It's a different guy. And, so it's called Thunder Road. And it has a 7.1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go. I've heard of it, but we obviously never watched it. He directed it and wrote it as well. There you go. It also stars not really anyone else that we would know. But there you go. That might be one to put on a list.
Yes. Sounds all right.
All right. So you're going to...
It sounded like shit to me, but...
But there you go. Wrong. It's a 7.
Okay, so I'll do one now from Tyson Turner as well.
Okay.
So the one from Tyson for you is... This riveting drama tells the true story of 2 young American Mormon missionaries held captive and brutalized for a week in a remote part of Russia.
Jeez. That's heavy.
It's pretty heavy, doesn't it?
Oh, it does sound heavy. Feels like it could be a more recent movie. It's a drama. I think this could swing either way. This is either going to be one that's really good or one that everyone's like, fuck, that's just so heavy, so horrible. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it's all right. I'm going to say it's all right. Sounds all right.
Sounds all right?
Yeah.
Sounds all right to me too.
Yeah.
But so you're locking that in?
Lock it in. Oh, no.
Only just. 5.7. It's called The Saratov Approach.
Oh.
And it stars nobody we know. McLean Nelson, Corbin Allred, Alex Vidov, and Nikita, a name I can't pronounce.
Okay. Yeah.
So what did I say? 5.7.
Yeah.
5.7. Is that a...
what have you done?
I don't know.
There you are.
There we go. Just wondering where it was made. Was it an American film or...
Should tell you there. I think. Shouldn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. US and Ukraine.
Oh, there you go. All right. Cool.
So there you go. So we both got one wrong.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's all right. That's all right. Evens it out. Sort of.
Well,
no progress on your end, but it's still...
Well, it doesn't even it out.
No.
You're still bloody miles ahead.
All right. I'm going to give you one now from Anthony Fisher, who, of course, writes in all the time. Thank you, Anthony. I am going to get rid of that. So we'll get rid of both of them. You'll take the second one from him.
Yep.
So, okay. It's a modernization of... Okay, you won't know what it is from this, but it's a modernization of Charles Dickens' classic story. It finds the hapless Finn as a painter. You're not supposed to read names, but you won't know it. The hapless Finn is a painter in New York City pursuing his unrequited and haughty childhood love. So it's a modernization of a Charles Dickens classic story that finds the hapless Finn as a painter in New York City pursuing his unrequited and haughty childhood love.
Well, Dickens usually... His stories are usually pretty good. So I want to say that's all right.
You say it's all right?
Yeah, it's sort of... Yeah, I'm going to say it's all right.
Final answer?
No
assist?
No, I'm going to say it's shite.
You're going to say it's shite? You sure?
Shite. Yeah, because it sounds like it's a bit... Yeah, it sounds like a bit of a wet fish.
Oh, all right. So that's it?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
All right. It is...
All right.
Should have stuck with it. Should have stuck with it. Yeah, this is a modernization of Great Expectations that was made in 1998. It stars Ethan Hawke, Gwyneth Paltrow, Hank Azaria, Chris Cooper, Anne Bancroft, Robert De Niro, Kim Dickens, and that's about Lance Reddick, who keeps popping up in movies. Peter Jacobson, heaps of people in it. There you go. It's 6.8.
Bugger.
Yeah, man.
Bugger.
Always go with your gut.
That's a big gut.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to check that out. I wonder if I can get that. Keen on that.
Soon find out.
I mean, look, I'm looking now on Blu-ray.com. Great Expectations. No, it hasn't been released anywhere. That sucks. I do have a version of it, though, but the version that was made in, 1946.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Has there been...
And a new one.
Has there been many remakes of that?
Yeah, there's one in 2012. Well, here, there's one that was made in 2011, which was a PBS adaptation. There's a 2012 version, which we own. There's a 1974 version, a 1998 version, which was that one, and the 1946 version. There you go. It's quite a few.
Bugger, I should have stuck with it.
Should have stuck with it.
My first gut was that it was a Dickens, so it would have to be... Anyway.
He's a master.
Okay, so here's one for you from Anthony Fisher.
Thank you, Anthony.
So obviously Anthony sent in one for each of us.
Yes.
Okay. Let me quickly read that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that'll give it away. I don't think you'll probably know anybody. Oh, yeah, okay. Helen's husband died tragically. That's it. No, Helen's husband died tragically. She's seeking her satisfaction somewhere in a little Irish village. She begins to paint again and meets with a restorer who works on the local railway station building. They fall in love very slowly, but their pasts shade the close connection.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know if I have seen it.
Okay.
That sounds like I may have seen it.
I don't know. I don't know whether you have or not. I haven't seen it.
The first thing I thought of was a movie called Big Eyes, but that's not it. That has Amy Adams, Christoph Waltz. Great movie, but that's not it. I think it's going to be... Oh, it sounds really pretentious too, and it could be really. Everyone's like, "That's so good," or it could be just crap. I'm gonna go on a swing, and I'm gonna say it's shite.
Lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in.
Lock it in.
Yeah,
and it is.
All right.
It's called The Railway Station Man.
Oh,
made in 1992.
Oh,
got a 6.2 rating on IMDb, and stars Julie Christie.
Oh.
Donald Sutherland.
Oh.
John Lynch.
Interesting.
And a few others you'll know.
Oh, there you go.
Ingrid Craigie. So, yeah,
there you go.
Niall Cusack. I wonder if there's any relation to...
Probably. There's heaps of them.
There's a few of them around, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah, but
it's 6.2, so it might be watchable.
It's an all right.
Yeah.
I should have said that Great Expectations one was directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who has done some terrific shit. Children of Men, Gravity, and he also did Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which I think is the best one.
Right.
So there you go.
Well, that one I just read was Michael White.
Don't know him.
Don't know.
No. I have to see that Great Expectations. Thank you for putting this on my radar, Anthony. I'm sure that's something I've probably heard of over the years, but... Yeah, slipped me. I got to check it out. I love my Dickens. But Railway Station Man, there you go. So now there's one more each, right? So we're going to take one each from Sam B.
Yep.
Who's written in again.
I'll take the second one.
You take the second, I'll take the first one. I think the second one, the one that you have is a favourite of Tim and Jackson, I believe.
Oh, that's going to give it away for you.
No idea. I don't know what those two like half the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
I've got a good one for you.
Okay.
Oh, there's a name here, so I'm gonna fucking, what do you call it? Not say the name. Okay. The fearless warrior, blank, sets out to avenge her family's murder and rid her kingdom from the tyrannical rule of the evil queen.
Go again?
The fearless warrior, sets out to avenge her family's murder and rid her kingdom from the tyrannical rule of the evil queen.
Sounds like something might have a bit of a following. Sounds like something like Zelda or something like that. So I'm going to say it's all right.
You say it's all right?
Well, I don't think it'll be all right, but I reckon it'll have an all right rating.
You don't want an assist on it?
Yeah, give me an assist.
You want the assist?
Might as well.
All right. In the lead role, you've got Bridget Nielsen.
Yep.
And in the
ex-wife of Stallone, I think, wasn't she?
Oh, maybe. Might have been. And the supporting role is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, so it's going to have a bit of a cult following.
You
So I'm
reckon?
going to say it's going to be all right.
I can tell you that it does have a cult following, certainly. But unfortunately, yeah. Yeah.
Sam, stop doing it to me, mate.
This is actually it's called Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah.
Red
I know
Sonja,
it. Yeah, I know
which
that.
is like, it's like they kind of off the back of how good the Conan movies
Yeah,
did. They did Red
that's right.
Sonja. And he's in there, not as Conan. I thought he was Conan in it, but he's someone called Calidor. But yeah, there was sort of off that back of, it's like a female Conan. Yeah, there you go, Red Sonja. That's got a 5.1. That surprised me too. I thought they would have a high rating because of the following.
It just sounded like it would have a cult following. And normally with a cult following, they've got
high rating,
good ratings, but they're crap films.
Yeah,
So it's
1985.
obviously a crap film with a crap rating.
Yeah, 1985. That one is.
Oh, there you go.
Have either of us got one right tonight?
No.
Jeez, there we go. All right, so here we go. Let's.
Hope you get this one wrong. Okay. Let me see. This is another one from Sam B.
Yeah, and this is a Wacko Jacko and Tim favourite, apparently.
Oh, there you go. We shouldn't have told you that. Space Marines are sent to investigate strange events at a research facility on Mars, but find themselves at the mercy of a genetically enhanced killing machine.
Fuck.
Sorry, of genetically enhanced killing machines.
Could be Starship Troopers. Not that I know if Tim and Jackson like that, Wacko Jacko. But it sounds like Starship Troopers. I've never watched it. Go to Mars. Fuck. I'm going to say it's all right. Again, it sounds like one of those things that is all right. I don't know. I'm going to say all right.
You're going to say it's all right? You don't want your assist or anything?
No, I'm going to just fucking go in.
Go in feet first.
Yep.
Jump all in.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's...
It's all right, yeah. Oh, no.
We're both fucked up today. It is Doom.
Oh, Doom.
Yeah,
Shit.
2005.
Right, is this the one with The Rock?
It's the one with the rock. So it's got Carl Urban, Rosamund Pike, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Shit.
Ben Daniels and a few others.
Well, there you go. The Doom. Never watched it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, there you go. Oh, well, neither of us got one right today.
No.
A complete bust.
Yep.
From 3 titles. Thank you to everybody who sent one in. Of course, Tyson, Anthony, and Sam. And, of course, if anyone out there has any Shite or rights to send in, please do. Again, they can be obscure. They can be well-known. They can be shite. They can be all right. Just send in some things you think might trip us up.
Yep.
And
they all did today.
And they all did today. There
and
you go.
we've still got a few there from Tyson as well.
Tyson sent in a shitload. So, Tyson, we will get to the rest of yours throughout the next few shows. So you keeping us good for a couple of weeks there.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
So anybody else got them?
Yeah,
send them in.
Send them in. We usually do the news at the end. There's not a lot of news this week. There's one interesting thing that has come up, which is the Directors Guild of America. Obviously, they were getting a bit shitty that all these movies were going to HBO Max exclusively or, day and date with theatres.
Yep.
And they have reinstated what is called the theatrical first run rule to be eligible for the top prize at the Directors Guild of America Awards. So their statement says the DGA, National Board, at its recent meeting unanimously approved reinstating its requirement of an exclusive theatrical run for the Guild's top award. To be eligible for the Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Theatrical Feature Film, films released after June 15, 2021 must have an exclusive theatrical run of at least 7 days prior to any other exhibition. So under the rule, which was first introduced in 2019, feature films released through other distribution platforms on the day and date as they premiere in theatres are not eligible for the DGA Theatrical Feature Film Award. They temporarily suspended the rule for its most recent awards due to the pandemic, but they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. They said, after over a year of darkness, theatre marquees lighting up across our nation have been a welcome sight for our healing communities. We celebrate the return of the important role that theatrical cinema plays in bringing together audiences as they collectively experience films as the filmmakers intended them to be viewed.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So this disqualifies one of Warner Brothers' massive films that's coming up soon called Dune. This is like a massive one. So it's going to disqualify Dune, which has been directed by, and I can never pronounce this guy's name, Denny. Let's have a look if that's who it is. I think, Denis Villeneuve. I think his name you pronounce. I could be completely wrong, but he did a couple of ones that, Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Sicario. So he's done some good stuff. So yeah, it'll discount that one. It'll also discount Clint Eastwood's next film called Cry Macho, and whatever other movies are supposed to be coming out day and date. Interesting thing. Do you reckon this will affect any other awards? I wonder if the Oscars will start clamping down on shit like this as a way to force studios to favour that theatrical distribution.
Well, they have awards for like you're eligible for awards for streaming platforms and stuff too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's
how's that going to work?
Well,
so if they say it has to have a theatrical release.
Well, actually, and the Oscars rule currently is that the film has to have like a 3-week theatrical run to be eligible for the Oscar, but it doesn't specify whether it's before or after it goes on streaming. It just specifies they have to have a theatrical run. Right. So it'll be interesting to see if they all start implementing these. It has to go to theatres first if you want to be eligible for an award.
Jeez, I don't know. Because then really, like with streaming platforms, they have to have a separate set of awards for that. Because none of that goes to theatres.
Well, it does. That's what I'm saying. The streaming movies have to have a theatrical run to be eligible for an award in the first place.
But what about the exclusive films that are exclusive to streaming?
They have to have a theatrical run.
Also, there'll be anything that's original, like Apple or whatever, won't be eligible, will it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So currently, anything that's original to Netflix, Apple, Disney Plus, whatever. Currently, with the Oscars, it has to have like a 3-week theatrical run to be eligible for an award, but they don't specify whether it's before or after. Some of these movies have actually had like a very small window before the streaming release. So stuff like, I think, Mank and Roma, I believe, went to cinemas briefly before Netflix.
Well, Roma did because it was on here. Yeah, Roma, but it was only
and Mank as well. They
really
did the same
minor
thing.
Cinemas. It wasn't.
So again, if you want to be eligible for an award, you have to have that theatrical run. But it'll be interesting to see if they now add that stipulation, which is you got to be in theaters first.
Okay.
Interesting. But particularly when you got big studios releasing movies day and date, this would be the way. Especially if the Oscars put their foot down and goes, you have to go to theaters first. That will be a good way to try to get back into that rhythm.
Get back into the groove.
But particularly if the DGA is doing it, that's pretty big too.
Yeah, that's right.
You want a Directors Guild Award.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. That's an article James, one of our followers, James, sent through actually. Thank you, James, because that completely missed me. Wasn't even Hollywood Reporter didn't report on it. Variety, none of them reported on it. Just sort of
sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah, we've got. Let's have a look at a trailer this week. Hey, brand new trailer. Yep. We'll take a look at this. This is for a new film called The Many Saints of Newark, which is subtitled A Sopranos Story. Let's take a look.
Exciting.
Antonio Soprano.
I wonder if I can talk to you alone for a moment, Mrs. Soprano. On the basis of the Sanford Binet, he's high IQ.
You can't prove it by me. He's got a D+ average.
Growing up with the family takes a toll. As far as your nephew goes, I'm listening. Stay out of his life.
does that look?
Fuck, I'm so excited.
That looks awesome. And doesn't he look like the young bloke in it?
Yeah.
It's actually James Gandolfini's son.
Yeah, playing
his actual son.
Yeah.
And some of those shots, you think that's just James as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That looks awesome.
So excited.
I'm looking forward to that.
So excited. He said he never watched an episode of The Sopranos before.
Really?
Yeah, so I had to watch the entire series to prep for the role.
I suppose he would have been too young.
Yeah, probably.
Far too young to watch it.
Yeah.
But that looks far more violent than The Sopranos ever did.
Yeah. Well, this is a film, so it's going to theaters. It's going to theaters and HBO Max. But
they'll make a series out of that.
Well, yeah, so I'm thinking now. They're probably kicking themselves thinking, fucking hell, we should have done this as like a limited series.
Yeah.
That would go huge on like a, HBO.
Netflix or something,
HBO, Well, probably would have gone to HBO Max as Warner's.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Would have been a huge draw. So I don't know why. Maybe it's just like a small story that like we want to tell a movie, but fuck, it looks good.
Oh, I'm there.
Yeah, me too.
I've got to see that.
Yeah.
Because there's not been really much in the way of good violent drama since Ray.
Well, yeah, true.
Like Ray Donovan was awesome.
But even just like the whole gangster, the idea of like the gangster film, the Italian mob, those kinds of movies are like you don't see them anymore.
No,
like
no,
Scorsese did them to death, and then no one really wants to touch them anymore.
Yeah,
and particularly, I mean, Goodfellas and all that shit that he did that's just so good.
Yeah.
People are scared to like touch the genre. Yeah. Man, it looks fucking good.
It looks awesome.
You've got David Chase back on board, who's the original creator and writer of The Sopranos, so he's written it. And he'd been saying for years, there's no way I'm going back to The Sopranos. Then he'd floated an idea that maybe a prequel could work, but he still wasn't very committal. And then he came up with this idea about there were all these race riots in Newark in the 1980s, and he was quite young when that happened. His parents were sort of involved somehow, or were like, it affected them. And he thought, well, that would be a great idea to make a movie. And then something triggered that, fuck, this is how Tony Soprano becomes Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
He melded the two ideas and has done this film.
But that looks
so good.
That looks awesome.
What got me right at the end was when the Sopranos theme kicks in. You're like,
yeah. Fuck. Well, so I knew nothing about it until I was at work on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys there were talking about it, and they were playing a trailer. I was working away, and they played a trailer, and I could hear it in the background. I thought, oh, geez, what the hell's going on there? You know. And it sounded good, but now I've seen that, it's got me. I'm not a huge fan of The Sopranos. Like, we didn't really watch The Sopranos when it was on.
That's another show.
Like we do with most stuff. We wait until it's finished, and then we'll just binge watch the whole lot.
Yeah. Or
at least there's a couple of seasons in we can binge watch.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of them, and just got hooked on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm fresh off having just watched it again because Alicia wanted to watch it.
That's right. Yeah.
We started watching it 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, when she was first here.
Yeah.
And it's, again, another one like Deadwood where initially, like especially the first few seasons, it takes a while to get into wanting to binge it. Yep. And we could only do like one episode every, few days.
Yep.
And then when I was back over in England, it popped up on one of the streamings, I think Sky, it was on Sky. We're like, fuck, we got to finish it. Because we had initially started it years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think we got up to like maybe the last season, and there was a bit at the end that we hadn't watched.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's another one. It was like stop start. So yeah, me and Alicia went back to the beginning, and then we're like, fuck it. But we got real hooked right towards the end and just smashed it out. So I'm fairly fresh off having rewatched it all.
But that was another one of those series like Ray Donovan that had that one season that was just a bit just flat, and you thought, geez, I hope it picks up again. Yeah. And of course that was what, season 4
Probably
maybe
4,
with Ray Donovan, and then it just ramped up to a whole new level. And The Sopranos was like that as well.
Yeah,
they had a lull in probably maybe season 3 or 4 as well.
Yeah, I think it was about 4.
Yeah.
There was one season in the middle where they did maybe it was towards the end. They started. It's another one of those shows talking a few weeks back about that point in time where they were doing half seasons.
Yeah,
and Sopranos did that.
Yeah,
as well. So again, this is an old show too. But it holds up. It's really, really good. Alicia fucking loved it. Alicia doesn't really like going back and watching older stuff. She will watch Friends over and over and over again. But anything that's a little bit old, she usually isn't that interested in. But she's got hooked on Sopranos. Loved it. She loves all that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
It's such a terrific program. I adore it. And this movie's going to be great. I know there will be people out there who are listening who might not have watched it, I think, but get on it if you can.
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the best television shows of all time.
Yeah.
And you hear that from a lot of people, and it's not hyperbole. It's legitimately one of the greatest shows.
I reckon the three... excuse me. I reckon the three best, I suppose, gangster-type series... That's probably top of the tree.
Oh, absolutely.
And closely followed by Breaking Bad and Ray Donovan.
Yeah.
They're the three that I really enjoyed.
Ray Donovan, I feel like, is one that didn't quite get that following, though.
Yeah, no,
Sadly,
that's
but
right.
It's such a great show.
Because it got canned, didn't it?
Yeah, it got axed.
And they were shopping it around, trying to find someone else to pick it up.
Liev Schreiber, of course, is in the lead role as Ray Donovan.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
That last season, season 6, I think it was.
7?
Was this?
Maybe
Whatever it was.
7? I don't know.
Oh, he
So
was
good.
totally out of control.
Yeah, great
and
show.
you just thought, geez, how much further can they push
But
this?
that's a show that everyone you know who's seen it fucking loves it.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's one that I feel like
Well, that's
is
one
not...
for the question later.
Well, yeah, there you go. So looking forward to that. The Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah.
Newark, I come from Newark.
Awesome. Looks
So
cool.
good.
Right, when's it out? Sorry?
It's out October, I think, in America. I don't know if it has an international release date just yet.
It'll have to be close by.
But all the people that are playing the characters, the younger version of the characters, all look fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you realise Lydia Soprano, who's the mother, is played by Vera Farmiga?
Yeah. I thought I thought, it looks like...
But she looks so good, got the prosthetics and looks
Exactly
fantastic.
right.
Yeah,
No, she's good.
Oh, so good.
She's done some great stuff the last few years.
She's
hasn't
terrific.
she?
Yeah, I love her. She's so good. Oh, that looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. Like, you can smash out The Sopranos before October. If you haven't watched it, fucking get on it.
And you don't know who's distributing it here?
Warner Brothers will have it here, yeah.
Oh, hopefully we'll get
Should get a screening for it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty good with the Warner people.
Yeah, hope so.
So hopefully, yeah. So, yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
That's the big trailer for the week. Briefly want to touch on this before we round up. A new book. We don't usually talk about books that often. But I picked up the big Tarantino book. Well, the little Tarantino book.
Little Tarantino book, yeah.
400 pages. It's quite large. This is his first novel, first piece of fiction, book that he's published.
Yep.
It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a novel.
Yep.
Now, essentially, went back in I don't know, they still might do it, but back in the 70s, 80s, it was huge. They would do novelizations of movies, which was essentially like they would, before home media was widespread.
Yep.
The best way to revisit a movie outside of the theatre, or some people couldn't afford going to the theatre, you'd have the novelization, experience it at home. Now, most of the time, pretty much all of the time, these novelizations were written by an author who had nothing to do with the film and was working off like an early screenplay draft. So majority of the time, the book was vastly different to the movie. So even if you look at Star Wars, the original Star Wars novelization, there's a bunch of deleted scenes in it.
Yep.
So stuff with Luke on Tatooine with his friends Biggs. And, in Star Wars, there's the line where Luke goes, I was going to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters. There's a scene where they go to Tashi Station to get the power converters. And these were all scenes that George Lucas had filmed but never made the movie. And the only way you could experience these deleted scenes initially was in that original novelization of Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
And even, I know they still do the Star Wars novelizations, and they always differ from the film. They always give you a little bit more information. You always see articles come out like, what's been revealed from the novelization? Because stuff makes it into the book that didn't make it into the film.
Right.
And whether that's deleted scenes or just stuff that was in an earlier draft that got cut out of a later draft. It's just a really weird sort of like niche kind of piece, like a literature rabbit hole sort of thing. And Tarantino grew up reading pulp fiction and like film novelizations.
Yep.
So he said he wanted to do a film novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, as essentially reshape the entire film as if it were a novelization written in the 70s. I read the first chapter. It's fucking good.
Oh, awesome.
It's really good. So he's essentially, he says he reshaped the book He says, well, this is a quote from him. He says, in the 70s, movie novelizations were the first adult books I grew up reading, and to this day I have a tremendous amount of affection for the genre. So as a movie novelization aficionado, I'm proud to announce Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as my contribution to this often marginalized yet beloved subgenre in literature. I'm also thrilled to further explore my characters and their world in a literary endeavor that can hopefully sit alongside its cinematic counterpart. And he called it a complete rethinking of the film. And the first thing I've noticed, again, I've only read one chapter, I only got the book yesterday, there's the scene, I don't know if you remember it, but there's a scene sort of towards the beginning of the movie where Rick Dalton, who is, what's his name? Brad Pitt? Fucking Leo.
Leo, yeah.
DiCaprio. He was Rick Dalton, right? Rick Dalton, yeah.
I can't remember.
Rick, I'm sure that's right. Yeah, Rick Dalton was Leo's character. And he's meeting with Al Pacino in the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And Al Pacino basically says, "You're a nobody anymore. Come to Italy, and we'll make you a star in Italy. We'll make you a star in Europe." So then Leo goes off to Europe and makes a bunch of like spaghetti westerns and B movies and shit. So this scene takes place it's about a 6 or 7 minute scene in a bar. This scene is expanded to 25 pages in the book. So the rule usually is 1 minute per page. So it's essentially expanded to like a 25-minute scene. It doesn't take place in a bar. It takes place in the manager's office. And he introduces a new character, which is the assistant of the manager, and she brings them in cups of coffee. So they're sitting there drinking coffee instead of alcohol. And as you can imagine, with typical Tarantino dialogue, they go down these weird rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah.
Which just goes completely just in weird direction, then comes back. So it's almost like you are reading like what was a early draft of this scene where there's just too much dialogue, there's too much going on that they truncated for the film. It's so fascinating. And I've read a couple of Tarantino's scripts before, and he's always just a very visual writer. And reading this is very much like reading one of his screenplays, but it's
really descriptive.
Yeah, he's terrific. Just such a great writer, and that's he's one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite directors. I particularly love the way he writes dialogue and stuff, and just reading the novel is great. So I'm going to smash that out. I'm really excited to get into it. So yeah, so obviously I don't know whether maybe he did base it on early screenplays or whether he's just gone, I'm going to just completely redo it. But some of the dialogue in it is direct from the film, and I pulled up the scene on YouTube and then tried to compare it. Some of the dialogue comes straight out of it. And then you go down this big rabbit hole of like 3 pages, and then it comes back to the next line of dialogue in the film. God. That's really great. So he's just expanded it in all these ways. Apparently, it fleshes out the characters a lot more. You get a lot more backstory. You get more scenes. There's a few things that are left a bit more ambiguous in the film that are made more clear in the novel. There's a controversial scene where you've got Bruce Lee having the fight scene with Brad Pitt in the car lot. Apparently that's longer and more brutal. So, as you can imagine. I mean, yeah, check it out. If you're a fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you're a fan of Tarantino, you want to check out a bit of his writing, check it out. It's real good so far.
Yeah, I'm not a reader.
You're not a reader.
Nah, I'm not a reader.
But it's, it's interesting. I know there will be people out there. I've seen so many people have been buying it. So check it out. It's a number 1 bestseller on Amazon, which now makes...
Already? Yeah, because it only came out a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it came out, a couple of days ago, and it was sold out on Amazon for a bit. It was sold out on Book Depository, so I had to go to like Kmart and get it. It was only $12.
$12. Yeah.
Kmart, Target, Big W, for anyone in Australia, has it for $12 at the moment, as opposed to like $20, $25. We're selling everywhere else. So go pick it up. So awesome. Yeah, he is now a number 1 best-selling author.
God.
Crazy.
Can he not? Is there anything he cannot do?
Well, he's running a work of non-fiction now too, on 70s grindhouse cinema or something. So, yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Because he did a couple of grindhouse films,
he did that he did Grindhouse with Rodriguez.
That's right.
Death Proof, and I think Death Proof was the Tarantino one, and the other one was, I can't remember what the other one was called. It was those 2 movies. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. But he usually, when he writes his movies, he will often write hundreds of pages of backstory for each of his characters. And in some cases, he will write additional scripts. He'll write full screenplays based on a character. So Rick Dalton stars in that Bounty Law, how he's doing that Western show. He wrote like 6 episodes of it.
So he's going to make that sometime down the track?
Apparently he's going to make it, yeah. I don't know whether it's going to go on Netflix or something, but yeah. And even Pulp Fiction, that Fox, when you've got that scene where Mia is talking about the original TV pilot she did called Fox Force 5.
Yeah.
He wrote like a full script for that and then sort of reworked that into Kill Bill.
Oh,
so he's just does so much like ancillary work that you never see, and this is kind of his way of.
He's probably got enough work there to keep him going.
Yeah, exactly
that he's already written.
Yeah,
for years to come.
Exactly right.
For the rest of his life.
He only wants to do one more movie. He wants to be like 10 films and then get out of the game. So it'll be interesting to see if he now ends up just going.
He certainly doesn't need the money.
Exactly right. So anyway, check that out. It's very fun. We've only got a couple of questions to get to this week. I actually forgot to put a call out for questions this week.
That's right.
But I had a couple.
Getting shot on time.
I know, exactly right. So let's have a look what we got this week.
Okay, so we got one from Blake.
Yes.
Blake up in Brisbane.
Yeah.
A Patreon.
Yep.
G'day, Blake. How are you, mate? Hope
you're
doing okay up there in lockdown.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Blake says, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we are. We're
thanks,
not in
Blake.
lockdown. Seeing as Brizzy is in this lockdown, as is most of the country right now, except Melbourne and Tasmania, Hobart. As is most of the country right now, what recommendations do you have for little hidden gems? Can be movie, TV shows, books, whatever you want.
You
keep up the great work.
Thanks, Blake. Appreciate it as always.
Sorry, go on.
You had a few things you want to say?
Yeah, well, those three we were talking about before. If you've not seen them, get onto them. I mean, for lockdown stuff, I like to sort of watch TV series because you've got so much time. It's no use just recommending a movie, I reckon. So, Ray Donovan, if you've not seen Ray Donovan, you've got to get it and watch it. It is awesome. Breaking Bad, most people have seen Breaking Bad and The Sopranos because a lot of people still haven't seen The Sopranos.
Yeah.
They're three fantastic ones, but a couple others that I thought about. One was Californication with David Duchovny. Fantastic show.
Yeah.
Sort of an adult sitcom drama sort of thing.
It was big at the time, but it's one that I feel like didn't have legs. It was like 7 seasons or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it petered out a bit towards the end of it.
We haven't watched it all. We've only watched the first few seasons.
But the first 4 or 5 seasons were fantastic.
Really
they were
good.
really, really good. And the other one was Flight of the Conchords. If you've not seen Flight of the Conchords, it is offbeat.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It is fantastic. Couple of Kiwis, yeah.
Jermaine Clement and Brett, whose surname is
and what's the manager's name?
Murray.
Murray.
What's his name? Rice. I was going to say E-Fans, but that's that British guy.
No, that's
Rice Joe? No. I'm going to pull it up. Flight of the Conchords. Jermaine Clement, Brett McKenzie, of course.
McKenzie, that's right.
And what? I thought I clicked on it. Flight. Oh, there it is. And Rice Darby. Kristen Schaal was in that as well.
Yeah,
Arch
that's
Barker.
Right. Yes, he was too. Yeah,
he was the guy. He was Dave.
Yeah.
He worked at like the pawn shop.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no. So if you haven't seen Flight,
such a great little show.
There's not too many episodes though, is there?
2 seasons, like 20 episodes or something. I think 22 episodes. Yeah, it's so good.
It is awesome.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, Taika Waititi was involved. I think he wrote a number of episodes for that.
Oh, okay.
It was created by James Bobbin, who did the Muppets movies.
Oh, right.
It was also written by. It was created by James Bobbin, Jermaine Clement, and Brett McKenzie. Now, Brett actually did the music for one of the Muppets movies, or both of them, I think, the recent ones. But I'm sure Taika Waititi. If I can look it up.
Not sure.
Yeah, he wrote 4 episodes.
He
directed 4 shows.
I was going to say it's really his sort of.
Yeah, he directed 4 episodes and wrote 2.
Well, that's the other one, the one that Taika did, the vampire one.
Oh yeah, the film, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the series yet though. You've watched some of the series.
I've watched some of the series, It didn't really hold me for too long, but it was good. I mean, my older brother, he loved it.
Yeah.
He absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched probably maybe 3 or 4 episodes of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And what have you got?
I've got a couple of books. I want to recommend some books this week.
Oh, okay.
Because I felt like every time someone says give me your hidden gems. And I'm sure Blake has asked before. And I'm always like sprouting the same fucking 3 or 4 movies or shows or whatever. So I thought, we're on this topic of books, and I thought I'm going to recommend a couple of my favourites that have also been written by someone famous. This is one of my favourite novels of all time. It's called The Pleasure of My Company. I've read it, I reckon, 3 times. I'm not a rereader. I don't reread books. I've read this at least 3 times. I got the audiobook. I've listened to the audiobook a number of times, which was read by the author, who is, of course, a comedic idol of mine, Steve Martin. And it is one of the greatest pieces of anything I've ever read. It is funny. It is sweet. It's charming. It's got drama in there. Did I say the name of the book? It's called The Pleasure of My Company. And when you read it, you imagine you're watching a classic Steve Martin movie from like the 1980s or 1990s, and you picture him in your head. The synopsis, basically, Daniel Pecan Cambridge, 30, 35, 38 or 27, depending on how he feels that day, is a young man whose life is rich and full, provided he never leaves his Santa Monica apartment. After all, outside there are 8-inch high curbs, and there's always the horrible chance he might see a gas station attendant wearing a blue hat. So except for the occasional trip to the local pharmacy to admire the California girl Zandy and to buy earplugs just because they're a bargain, he stays home a lot. And a good thing too, or he never would have been falsely implicated in a murder, never almost seduced Philippa, never competed the impossible task of jogging around the block with Brian, never ironed his pillows, and he might never have won the most average American contest. It's so good. It's just a really charming book.
Well, that just reminded me, seeing Steve Martin.
Yeah.
He did a film on one of his books called Shot
right,
Girl.
Yeah, it was a novella, yeah.
Now that was a really good film as well.
Yeah.
And I just pulled it up. It's only got like a 6.3 rating on IMDb.
Very good.
But it's a fantastic film.
Jason Schwartzman?
Yeah, I rated it much higher than that. Claire Danes, yeah.
So good.
That was Steve Martin, Claire Danes, Jason Schwartzman.
That was a little novella that he wrote, yeah. And
this
one
was a fantastic film.
This one here is only 163 pages. The text is pretty large.
Yeah.
Easy to read. Such a good book. He was talking about doing it you imagine him in this film.
I could imagine that as a...
Oh, absolutely.
As a movie.
And he's a bit aged out of that role now.
Yeah.
But he was talking about... I'm talking maybe even 10 years ago. He was floating around the idea of doing it with Ashton Kutcher in the lead, who I feel is probably maybe even a bit older for it now as well. But I'd love to see them do that as a film some point, because it's so good. It's such a good book. I'll also recommend another one. This one's called My French Whore. This one's written by Gene Wilder, and it is terrific. Again, it's funny. It's got drama. It's sweet. It's tender. It's called My French Whore, A Love Story.
Oh, God.
Gene Wilder, of course. Willy Wonka, started in Blazing Saddles and all those great classic comedies with Mel Brooks and all that. The synopsis for this: heartbroken by the discovery that his wife no longer loves him, shy young railway employee Paul Peachy leaves his small-town existence behind and boards ship for the trenches of France. It's 1918 and the pendulum of war has swung decisively in the Allies' favour, but when Peachy is captured by a desperate enemy patrol in no man's land, it seems that his life's about to come to a brutal end. A fluent German speaker, Peachy's only chance of survival is to convince his captors that he is none other than their famous spy Harry Stroller. For a while, he is feted as a hero by the enemy top brass and gains access to a previously unimagined world of luxury and extravagance. But when Peachy falls in love with a beautiful French courtesan named Annie, he's driven to commit a supreme act of courage that will change both their lives forever.
Sounds good.
Which would be another great one. That would be a great film.
Yeah, exactly right.
I love that. His writing is so good. I've got a number of his books. He's written a number of short story compilation stuff. He's so good. Such a great writer, as is Steve Martin. I'd recommend both of those. I thought it was a bit on topic with movies, and particularly with the Tarantino thing coming out as well. So if you, I know Blake is a big reader. If you can track down both of those books, get on it.
Yeah,
so good, so much fun.
Well, if you like, see, I only ever read biographies. I don't really get into fiction, as you know. And there are a lot of good biographies that I've read that I could recommend him, but this, I'd have to think about it and go through. But Kelsey Grammer
one's fantastic.
Brett Butler, was a really good one. And what's his name? Tim Allen.
Yeah,
Tim Allen was good.
Don't stand too close to a naked man.
That's right.
That's called, yeah.
Paul Reiser did a really good one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good,
yeah,
really good biographies.
Steve Martin did one, which was great. Yeah, really good.
But yeah, so Blake, that movie as well, Shop Girl.
Actually, I can recommend. Actually, I just thought any of the Carl Pilkington books are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, anything Carl.
I've read all of his books. He's done like if you're familiar with him from Idiot Abroad, he did a bunch of like travel diaries, which kind of expand on the show.
Well, that's another thing. If if Blake hasn't watched things like Idiot Abroad,
yeah. Life's too short with
most definitely.
I feel like it's a Ricky Gervais show. He's in it a little bit, but it stars Warwick Davis.
Yep.
And it is the fucking funniest, one of the funniest things ever. Each episode has a different celebrity guest star. Liam Neeson comes in, and that is one of the funniest scenes I've ever heard in my life. Liam Neeson comes in, he's like, I want to learn improv. He's like, let's improv. And they're like, all right. Him and Ricky are like, all right, let's try out some improv. And then everything that Liam Neeson says just really dark. He's like, I've got cancer. He's like, no, that's fucking funny. And then Johnny Depp comes in one and he hires Warwick to be his little dwarf because he's going to play a dwarf in a movie. Has him in the toilet. And it's just funny. Check it out. I feel like that's like one of the Ricky Gervais shows that is a little more obscure.
Yeah.
So funny.
One season,
I think. Maybe 2 seasons and a special. Yeah. As Ricky Gervais always does.
The funniest scene when he was trying to get the book or trophy or something off the bookshelf.
And poor little Warwick Davis is scaling the bookshelf trying to get the book.
But it's just Warwick Davis taking the piss out of his size.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic show.
So good. Yeah, so that's a whole bunch of stuff that'll keep you going through the lockdown.
So get on with it all, mate.
Look at that though. It's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. I've had too much water and too much Coca-Cola, so I need to get out of here. Should I say Coca-Cola? They're not sponsoring us today. Too much cola. Look, thank you so much for joining us. The podcast goes out every single Monday on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible. Visual Element is available to view on YouTube. It goes out on the Monday, same time, but it also goes out 2 days early to Patreon supporters. So if you want to get that 2-day early access, head to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. Video podcasts are now on a new channel. They've gone over to a new place. So if you're over there, if you're watching, please hit the subscribe button down below and just view. Get views over there so we can get that monetization back up and going. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, of course. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. Links in the description of every single podcast. If you want to write into the show, daveleepod@gmail.com. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review and rating. It helps.
Only good ratings,
Only the good ones, please. YouTube preview this week. Well, last week I dropped my Black Widow review. I dropped a Monsters at Work review. Bunch of cartoon news, mostly like Space Jam trailer and clip breakdowns. You can check them out. This week, get ready for this. I'll have a fucking Space Jam review for you all.
Oh,
yes.
About time.
How good's that? I can't wait. I'm seeing it very early next week, and you'll have the review like the day after I see it. I'm so fucking excited. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of Space Jam content that will supplement the film, including an evolution, which I'm really working hard to get out in a couple of weeks' time. It's also going to be working on the delayed voice evolutions, Speedy, Taz, and whatever ones I've missed to coincide with New Legacy throughout the month. I've started working on a new evolution this week.
Yep.
I've been talking. I tried to get one out at the end of last month. But no, I finished the script. I've put that one aside, and now I'm working on another one, which is going to be a very, very, very short one. Mm-hmm. I'll have that out in a couple of weeks, and then I'll double back to the other one. Hopefully, have that out by the end of the month. I think I'll have it done. Other than that, I don't know. There'll be stuff that just pops up here and there, I think, and that's usually the way it goes. Anything else you have to say?
Nope, that's it.
I've got to get out of here.
Just got to get out of here before I piss my pants.
Okay. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you on the next one.
Thanks for joining us.
Take it easy. Number 40 show next week. Yeah, woo! All right, see you later.